first of all, it's a little bit strange to be putting our house, like both of our houses that we live in and our family on television
On
and
YouTube.
all over the internet.
Yeah.
And so we have, for that reason, a couple of no trespassing signs up by the street. Like, please don't come back here because it's a little bit, like, we're a little touchy about it. But this guy drove back and said, hey, I've just been watching what you guys are doing. And, because
You can
there's
hear
a
the
street
road is
right,
not
right
very
there.
far.
Almost a year now working
Yeah.
on this property. It's like, it's really inspiring. I think I'd like to do my own house myself. And we thought, like,
That was
totally,
really nice.
That's what this
Yeah.
is for.
Yeah.
Not to devalue the fact that you need experts. And we have, for sure, a whole slew of experts who are helping us. And I'm always asking them,
Yeah.
am I an idiot? Am I, forgetting something? And that's very important.
The experts that we've used, like the architects and structural engineers, like I'm really seeing the importance of it, of understanding where these beams are going, understanding like the load calculations and how it's been done, and just how important all that stuff is.
Yeah.
You just it's like a manual J. You don't think about doing this calculation, but it's so important.
One guy during the foundation pour, the final day, said, well, the bottom part's done. Now all that's left is to just put on the top part. And we kind of feel that way. But, of course, the rest of this is going to be a lot more detail-oriented. The first half was a lot of suffering and messiness and heartache. But now it comes the, like, fine detail stuff, which is a little bit more fun for us. So now we're at floor framing stage. You can see that this is the floor for the entire first floor of the house. Looks really big already. We're very excited about it. I will say a couple things. One is that the blue board that you can see here at the edge, that's what goes in contact with any concrete that's in the ground, and it's called pressure-treated board. Now, the kinds of nails that need to go into pressure-treated board are called hot-dip galvanized. They cost a little bit more than a normal nail, and they're a little bit more specialized. You could have your builder buy one kind of nail to nail into everything that's not pressure treated, and then have a separate stash of nail that's just for nailing into the blue boards. Or, probably, since that won't work practically, you just use hot dip galvanized all the time. And this is the kind of conversation that most people don't know how to have with their builder, and most builders don't think is interesting to homeowners. And most builders think that homeowners only want their home for 10, 15, 30 years tops. You're not going to hand these homes down to your kids, right? Like they do in Europe. In some places, you have a 100-year mortgage and there's no taxes on inheritances, so people pass their houses down. This is how we're trying to build this place, is to have a lot longer term, and it goes into everything, even just buying nails. Like that's the kind of conversation that I have in my head every time I go to the lumber yard or the big box store, is like, okay, how am I trying to make this as awesome as possible? And every single detail starts to matter at that point, which drives you crazy. But we're dealing with it. So yeah, what happens next is we're gonna floor over this with the plywood subfloor, which you're not gonna see when the house is done, obviously, but it's what holds everything together. Then we're gonna be able to backfill here. So we're gonna add the waterproofing to this concrete foundation wall. We're gonna add the insulation to it, and then we're gonna be able to backfill and add the dirt back, and it'll start to look like an actual house rather than like this just concrete bunker that's kind of sticking out of the ground right now.
Yeah, it is an intimidating concrete bunker as you're driving up the driveway.
It's very tall, yeah. It makes everything else on our property look really shrimpy already. we haven't even started the 10-foot or the 16-foot walls.
It's so funny to go from 200 square feet to almost 3,000. Yeah.